Well, hello people, and welcome back to another episode of City Showcase. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, we are looking at the city of Alnerwick by Grey Koala, a British European-inspired city that is heavily detailed with several hundred assets in the playset here, on a map that has not been mentioned, so if you do recognise it, please feel free to leave it in the comments and give it an upvote. As a British person myself, I'm very interested to see the British inspiration here, so we'll see what we can pick out. And don't forget, if you want your work to feature in the next episode, there is a link to a Google form in the video description. But otherwise, let's get stuck into a custom asset heavy modded CS1 build, shall we? So as always, every week we're left blown away by a pretty incredible orbital view and a wonderful map. If you do recognise it, let us know in the comments. And there was also theme mixer was left in the playset alongside a single theme, which I've put on, so I'm hoping it is your theme. If not, it's a nice theme anyway. But a really interesting city layout, right? And I think as last time, we're going to get stuck into the downtown first, so we'll start from this little airport peninsula, crawl our way across this big city centre, and then find our way into all these little, what are very many little rural builds all the way out here, right? So this looks like a really developed project. The submitter said that it's taken them a full year to complete this build. So I'm expecting something very special indeed. We'll start with the port. Indeed, a shipyard over here making use of lots of official assets. Avanya's warehouses are also making an appearance here. And some really great detailing with the quay wall. You see how this is kind of pinning the two shipyards together. Possible even military base here. I actually wonder if we have a name. Yes, Naval Academy. There we go. Instant naval vibes with the barracks, right? 100%. There's a school in here, playgrounds. Very exciting. Again, the submitter sent me the file location of the Bob file. It's the actual file itself I need. So expect maybe some Bob clashing here. Back to the naval base though. I love this, the use of the countryside kind of bandstand assets here. Almost like a kind of ship-breaking ceremony almost. Or I guess if it's a naval academy, some sort of graduation space. The map is covered in these gorgeous Douglas firs as well. They do have quite a low level of detail. You can see them over there blowing away. When you're up close to them, how nice are these trees. Pretty sure we use these in a 5B1C, the first season I took part in. And then we leave here with some more container detailing, taking us back onto an interchange using the American Truss Bridge, some warehouse support down here, all fenced off. European suburbia with what looks like some intersection marking tool fence and tree work, I would guess. You can see a train pass by the suburb as well. It's a really nice map, isn't it? I'm a huge lover of it. There's some custom roads here with custom bus networks, and we'll take an appreciation of the grander sense of road hierarchy up here. We'll see a custom church tacked onto a vanilla cemetery. I think that's probably where we can see Bob. Imagine you probably would have changed those out, wouldn't you? As we go through here, we'll come across our first little town centre, which even has its own little retaining wall tucked in here. Some custom retaining walls, or keys at least, are also present in the map. Alongside a custom train station with some first instances of walking porn. Got a path crossing over the train line here. Got some stuff here. What is this? Look, that has a very low level of detail, that prop, doesn't it? those networks. Almost turns into a maze if you zoom too far out. Quite funny. You can fix this, by the way. What this is, if you're wondering, when it blurs like this, it's called the LOD, the level of detail on the asset. It's to help save your frame rate, so it's not constantly rendering these very nice looking assets map wide all the time. And there's a mod called Ultimate Level of Detail, which removes this and fully renders everything on the map at once. It destroys your frame rate, but you can do it if you want. I obviously can't do it whilst also recording in 4K, so you can fix it if you're not recording. Here we have a very tasty asset. What on earth is this? Let's have a little look, shall we? That is an elevated train track full wall. That's a really nice network, isn't it? Train police will be absolutely buzzing with this, I imagine. Oh, did you hear that little custom train sound? We do have custom trains on the map as well. Didn't realise they also came with custom sounds as well. That's really cool. Does sound a bit like a kettle. Sort of whistling. But look at this train police, right? Train police are going to be absolutely over the moon. As we come into a little financial district area. Some services and further custom assets through here too. Fun little use of financial districts there. We'll check out this rail yard we've just seen. Where we'll see all the vanilla train props, which I think I might actually end up grabbing these for Ilium. Just so I can make train yards like this. Factories over here. With some industrial evolution repetition. Sewage. Really interesting use of financial districts. Also, it's some sort of like factory here, right? Rather than office space. There's also a little custom cargo station here as well. That's really nice. Love the cranes on this. Really nice station, that. Across here, we'll come across our train station here, which is... Look at the layering going on here. Isn't that just amazing? This whole rail trench coming through. Seeing emerging downtowns. Plaza detailing. Very tasty. How much ridership are we getting here? I wonder. Let's have a little look. Only 133. Let's actually check out city ridership. 10,000 tourists is immense. That's quite a lot. And just under 4,500 residents a week. And traffic's at 74%. Traffic manager is present. But I think we've got some major... Yeah, I mean, it's red, but it's fine, isn't it? So, how much notice you want to take of that is up to you. Anyway, back over here. Obviously, some industrial evolution fusing, really nice factory detailing, respecting the alleyways here. Extra bins, decals. Really tasteful industrial area here by the tracks. And then we'll see, I think, what is very clearly some airport signage. As we also enjoy some intersection marked intersections, everyone. Love to see IMT in the city showcase. It's a different level of gravy, IMT, isn't it? Which really leads us into our airport complex, which we'll take a much grander view of here before we get stuck in. This is really sweet. I love this concourse configuration. Of course, connected by metro, if you're wondering. Such a nice airfield, that, isn't it? Got our refueling depots here. Planes in the hangars. A big IKEA next to the airport. That's very cool, isn't it? IKEA runway orientation too. There's malls through this way. Elevated trains, for which the train police, I'm sure, are tremendously grateful for that. Really great train work. Metro and pedestrian area with custom stations, the airport museum, and a bus station. Car parking, service points. This is a really nice service point configuration. Of course, I always love to see the parking lot roads. Possibly my favourite ever parking solution for CS. And this is a really nice arrangement of it here. All surface painted in between as well to give you these like concrete pavement islands. Quite an important visual for car parking, that. It's just so nice, isn't it? Like, it's not overly done either. Like, this is pretty simple building here, but it's just been executed near to perfection. Really love this example of spice right here. We'll see fencing, expanded eateries outside of our first airport terminal, where we can see some great scurrying and a lot of waiting for that. Metro is actually looping back to the end of line here. But plenty of people taking your metro from the airport. Essentially no one driving, which is fantastic. Great design. Now this road continues down to another terminal where we'll pass by more really elaborate Kirby Metro designs by hotels, both airports and DLC variants. Down to another custom train station, so much transit. He said in the submission that there's a really elaborate transit network in the city. And I think we're possibly seeing one of the most elaborate and already well-designed transit systems here, just in this section of city alone, right? Let's look at the transit layer in here. Clearly an experienced city designer. Knows how to layer, bridge, measured curves, node controller, IMT. A veteran player here. Some fire trucks, police cars outside of their relevant stations. Modern city centre also lives here, with more vast amounts of car parking. This time vanilla, which is quite interesting that you switch back and forth between the different styles. Interesting to get a bit of a side-by-side comparison here, isn't it? It's not often you see parking lot roads and vanilla right next to each other. I think I still prefer parking lot roads though. Just perfect, aren't they? And just what an absolutely gorgeous airport. More of your favourite financial districts fusing here. Some shopping mall mass repetition as well. Almost kind of pulls off a bit of a self-storage like that, doesn't it? Maybe a bit modern on the front though for self-storage. Detail in here takes us to a ferry network. And then the actual runway configuration itself, which I'm sure aviation players will be happy with. This one, runway looks quite nice and long. I know it's always the runway length that gets the aviation police in CS. So hopefully that one does at least begin to satisfy it. Over from this industrial we saw earlier, we'll stumble across garbage processing in many different forms. Sunset Harbour, vanilla. The car factory is also tucked in very nicely by the train tracks here. That's a great bit of highway by factory orientation there, isn't it? We're back to the wood vision from Palaban. Such an important design aspect. Mass warehouse, really fun elevated networks coming off of this highway interchange, which again is really nicely IMT'd. You've even gone for fillers here too. Stunning. Really do enjoy that. You can see why this project has taken a year at the least to finish. A lot of time gone into it. Industrial Revolution and Vanya's warehouses make up our port with multiple more factories, another train yard. And more financial... Your use of financial districts is definitely one of the most interesting I've seen. You're using it in some areas I would never ever think of putting it. I don't mind it at all. The thick concrete cube blends in with the industrial theme, doesn't it? Over here, we're missing assets. Unfortunately, as Cities 1 ages, assets are just gradually removed by the authors on the Steam Workshop, and it looks as though there was a bit of a barge collection being used. That is no longer available. So it would have been here. So unfortunately, we can't see that, so we won't pay too much attention to it. Big car parks at the front of Vanilla Ports. Train police, I hope you're all happy with this. This is a really sweet little cargo container port here. With the views across the bay. Across to what is a pretty kind of tame skyline, really, which I guess is definitely the more British, European inspired aspect of the build. Tons of fishing and containers out here with node controlled ports. Really nice. Warehouses and fish markets see out that first little peninsula for us there. But we follow the networks across the river. That's this nice little island on some really well designed network elevation. That's just so cool, isn't it? I love the 3 tracks. There's something so impactful about an arterial bundle, I think, isn't there? I think we all learned that in Rannoch. Well, I learned it in Rannoch anyway. Not saying everyone else did. But yeah, I think the power of parallel networks is something to be factored into your city design, isn't it? Look at this. Brilliant. Actually giving us 6 train lines here as well. Just looks so thick, doesn't it? It's got some girth to it. Yeah, brilliant work. This brings us into pretty much central downtown. I can almost see some maybe Thessia inspiration here. I'd hate to claim credit for it because it makes me feel big-headed. But with the networks coming off, well, I guess it's even Teddy's build, isn't it, technically? Just with the roundabouts here. Reminds me a little bit of Thessia with the way the bridge kicks out. But it's gorgeous regardless. I really love it. Over here we'll see a tram pedestrian area with loads of parks and fun detailing by a cruise terminal. Which way do we want to go first here? Let's wrap up the skyline waterfront, I think. So it's the biggest problem with City Showcase. Where do you go first? We're seeing more of these tiered transit layers as well, using those wall tracks. They're such nice assets, those. And then lots of custom plan to work here in between tower plazas, which is made up of hotels, lots of skyscrapers, DLC stuff. Oh, that's a really nice use of the Theatre of Wonders, having it come under that super peculiar shaped tower like that. Would never have thought of doing that. Very clever fusing that, isn't it? The Modern Art Museum, with a really blue waterway passing through this skyscraper centre here. A gorgeous use of custom networks and the network multi-tool mod here for switching out networks on a station. It's just so well designed, that, isn't it? A T cluster, the stock exchange, really fun little custom plaza down here. With the airline headquarters. So it's not an overly done skyline, is it? It's not absolutely packed out. It's pretty small and tasteful. Which I would say a lot of the UK skylines used to be like that, but Manchester's getting very tall now. And London has been for quite a while. Again, just a moment to appreciate the grander network design. Look at that. It's all flowing gorgeously as well, isn't it? Like a busy bridge arterial here, people crossing the river from the airport. Trains also moving people that same direction. Joy to watch that. Here we'll see some really fun green cities combinations, many different forms of them there. I love this one with a different height but same shape. I'll have to remember that. Get the old classic circles as well. I love just two of them actually, that's a really nice design. Never thought of doing that before. See, I always overthink it and go for the full circle. And you don't always need to do that, do you? The Copper Ball Arena sits in with landscaping parks around it by the arterial road. With some really nice tram retaining wall action, which is actually hiding a gradient here, isn't it? You can see us gradually climbing uphill. But what a way to integrate it. That's so nice. Oh, you've even done stair intersection marking tool. God, love it. Amazing. This is such a cool bit of the city. You get vast amounts of egg points for IMTing stairs in. What did you use for this? I'm actually curious. Let's open up the intersection marking tool. We've done this tip before in Thessia. I'll leave the video link below if you want to see it. Yeah, it's a prop asset literally called Stairs too. Yeah, it's like you got a little stairs pack here, haven't you? So it's essentially a line of props that are formed and elevated as such to form stairs. Brilliant. This brings us into a massive shopping district here. We'll stay this side of the European district. And we'll check that out in a separate section. This green belt gets more elaborate with elevated zoo path, green cities and parks. Some custom Smileys assets, it looks like iconic. Custom commercial these, aren't they? They sit so nicely with green cities buildings as well. Really great service point detailing. Trash behind the malls. It's a really nice mall area, made up of zoning, unique buildings, more custom assets. Which blends us into custom assets paired with wall to wall, which is a great combination. Parks. That's a great idea, actually. Having those parks in behind. You could do this with emerging downtowns as well if you don't do custom assets. With even more condos all the way through here. Oh, look at that. That is so nice, isn't it? That's so cute. I really love that. All the filler work is just so nice as well. A lot of time for stuff like that. Down this arterial we'll see more towers. Before the skyline really kind of falls away back into more of a medium density configuration. More detailed parks. And then really we're kind of heading out of downtown here, aren't we? So we'll use this European suburbia and European district as a border as where to stop. Which we'll come back and check out, obviously. I love this waterfront. Using those custom rocks. More stair detailing. How much of a difference does that make? Just to see stairs. Fantastic. More really fun custom tram configurations here as well, using really small one-way roads here. And all this space fenced off and detailed. Just magnificent. Really, really nice. More service point detail in here as well. Just brilliant. Fantastic little downtown. So swinging back around to where we entered the downtown, we'll see some more European inspiration here. Including the London Eye. 3 fused of the European sort of government style building, which I've never seen 3 of them before, but it's very powerful, that, isn't it? I think you could even double that up, couldn't you? Have them back to back, which would give you almost like this super dominant government theme building, which I'm planning to build like that in Ilium, actually, so maybe some inspiration to be taken from that. Plazas, all about the front, lots of fun waterfront space, little football pitches. The cathedral, European buildings against all of these very dramatic walled tracks, which are just awesome. Right here we'll see an anarched pathway, pedestrianisation coming under. Again, I imagine Bob probably would have removed these decals, so ignore them. Oh, that's really fun. I always love to see a network anarched through a building in whatever capacity. And that's a really nice way to do it. So we enjoy some pretty busy train stations here too. If we see some scurry in here. Yeah, now that's some good scurry, right? I feel like we could release an album called Now That's What I Call Scurry. And it's just a compilation of all the most intense walking porn we've seen. With that custom tram, isn't that nice as well? It's not often we get custom vehicle assets in city showcases, so I'm always happy to see them when they do turn up. Away from this, we'll see the Capitol building. We've seen this in another city showcase before, haven't we? I think it's the same one. Looks very similar. No, that's the Georgia State Capitol. We haven't seen that one before, actually. Well, a gorgeous asset, that, isn't it? Very dominant. It pairs very nicely with the Vanilla City Hall, with pedestrianisation around it. As these train lines head off in so many different directions. If you want to censor the train hierarchy here, I think you can get a real sense of it, can't you? It cuts through the terrain and goes off in different directions. I think the submission does live up to what they said. This is some of the best network, well, especially public transit network planning we've seen in a city showcase. Over here we'll see custom European, vanilla with lots of fusing and repetition. Churches. More little custom European assets. Some smiley stuff, which is very similar to emerging downtowns, isn't it? You can definitely see the same creator there. I just love that all these little spaces have been detailed, the fencing against the train line, parks. Just discovering these little elevated cycling networks. That node controlled key here as well doesn't go unnoticed, so it's a lot thinner. So just really fun. We'll use this terrain layer as sort of an edge of downtown, if you like, to begin exploring this big European district we have over here. You just the more you look, the more you see, isn't it? Little pathways coming up here. All this rock work, more fencing. Under these train tracks, we'll see a very busy post sorting facility and a couple of warehouses. As we come into definitely the European district side of the build, in which we'll get a little bit of an idea of what's happening here. Very European through all these areas. But I think first and foremost, I want to check out this custom station here, which I'm not sure which one this is. I've never seen that one before. Covington train station. Is that the name you've given it? Or is it all modular? Modular elevated station M3. That's really cool. I've never played with any of the modular station packs. But again, another really busy central station. With stunning landscaping underneath it. You've even IMT'd these stairs here. Love it. And this little elevated skywalk takes people back into across through a fun little tram turnaround here, which is so nicely detailed. I also noticed you as well, little bus road. Hello. You've been anarchied through here too. What a wonderful way to build a modular station, right? I really love that configuration. This then brings us across into so many different styles of European here. It's mainly base game European stuff, but there's certainly custom assets like these down here in the right. That's a really cool European asset there, isn't it? Lovely plaza space out the front. Hospital. Really nice vanilla design here. You could easily replace this with vanilla car parking as well. And there's pitches in the middle. All these very European shaped blocks. Theatres. Little fountains here in the roundabouts. A really nice fountain asset that actually, isn't it? And all these little European alleyways to discover as you walk through. But it's a real different kind of combo of downtown, isn't it? All these little awnings out on the street, very Euro. They all bend off in different directions, revealing more European-esque sight lines, whichever way you look. Just really nice. It's quite a hard style to pull off European, certainly much easier to do with the mods. So I think that the shape of the blocks plays such an important role in the design of the city, doesn't it? Which zoning does not lend itself well to at all. You can see more of it over here. Lots of tall streets, fun blocks. Triangle junctions, and it's all been respected. Corner assets very faithfully placed here. Some bike IMT is always welcome. Isn't that just great? That's so nice, that. That Mountain Village asset is such a quite impressive corner building, isn't it? I really like that. Brilliant. We've come quite far up the hillside here. But as a grander appreciation for the European district that flows out of the downtown where we were at just a moment ago. See a little custom graveyard in here with a church. More fountain and statue detailing. Death care tucked in. With med clinics and school campuses. Parking and gyms. Like, it's just such a great flow, isn't it? It's like everything was meant to be here. There doesn't feel like any kind of awkward, unorganic breaks in the city. It just flows so organically from one style to another. A real treat of downtown, has to be said. Has to be said. Right, well, back over here, we'll catch the rest of this shoreline and this big European suburbia district. Which you can see just how much of a gradient we're playing with from this perspective, can't you? So terrain has very much been respected as well. Gradient police will be happy today. Alongside the terrain police as well. Which I guess is kind of like a special branch of the gradient police anyway, isn't it, I suppose. Big entertainment vibes here. Lots of unique buildings. Tennis courts. Pitches and schools. Pedestrian tunnels. Taking us back to another custom station here. That's what I love about the Steam Workshop, is that you can play so many thousands of hours and see so many different cities. And there's still assets you haven't seen before. Perhaps a bit of a billionaires inspired area here. Repurposing the seaside resorts with some boat props. And on this really nice little breakwater island we've got here. There's also another mega mansion island over this side as well. Always a fun way to use seaside resorts and mountain village, isn't it? And then this is wonderful. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? Full rock wall. I guess natural breakwater here. Yeah, with the lighthouse. And then just more little commercial centres and parking. Simple assets. Little station, plaza, services. Just a really nice execution. And all this tapers off and kicks back out to go into the tunnels. But just more immaculate network planning. Really can't get enough of it. While we're over here, we'll grab this tiny town. Over the hills where these networks re-emerge from their hillside abode. And we're going to get lots of detail in here. Love these custom planters. And networks, used them before in Ilos and Thessia, I think. Now for a little green city suburb with pedestrian overpath, schools, and then dissipates here into an outside connection over the hills and far away. And one of peanut stations also present. You know, your rural towns don't have to be huge, do they? They can just be simply and tastefully executed away in the corner of a map. It will also say hello to a waterfall here, which looks like it comes up to its own little separate reservoir, but there's nothing out here for us, which is fine. Running back across the city, we'll head back to these big European sprawl again. If you want an example of road network planning, everyone, that's it doesn't get much better than that, does it? If you want a way to avoid the grid, there you go. There's probably no better example we've seen on City Showcase beyond that there. Fantastic. We'll make a point to stop by this little hillside development here. Which again has countryside assets in. Great use of that gate. Really like how you've done that. Did they use it? No. Of course. They walk through the woods. Some of them do. There you go. What a wonderful view across the city from here, right? Very spectacular. As we swing around this big chunk of mountain that really splits up the European district, bringing us back to this central station with the modular format we saw earlier. I'll enjoy tons more European suburbia with amusement parks. I love how the river cuts through the city. It's a really cool feature of the land, isn't it? See amusement parks here. More churches. Bike IMT along the high street here. More train convergence. With yet another custom station. Your tram configurations are really cute as well. Seeing several different instances of quite inspiring tram turnaround. These train lines both go back underground. And before we'll fall into this next town centre. Are we okay there? Oh, that's just the the IMT level of detail, isn't it? More stair IMT over here with industrial evolution. Sewage, garbage processing. All tucked in around this really cute river. And it's like, let's look at it all flowing uphill here. Landscape networks, fencing, bushes, tree lining, just stunning. Really, really nice build. Are they supposed to be stairs or like viewing platforms? I hope they are. It looks like they are. Maybe sit and look over the animals. Sit down and grab a sandwich while you're in the zoo. Again, with so much fun inspiration. You've gone like full surface painted here over the pathways. So they can see multiple different exhibits. Really fun way to use a zoo asset, that. Mountain Village continues to make an appearance alongside the American pedestrian walk, not an asset we see very often at all. Great car parking. I could just crawl around this city forever, especially crawling up these hills here. You've really worked so nicely with the terrain. Like IMT, respectful corner service buildings. For the European suburb is littered with green belt and again, just really nice integration of public transit into your service infrastructure like a school campus like that. It just feels very organic, doesn't it? Tram roundabouts. Hooked into the suburbia, of course, with these guys having a really impressive view back up to there. It's stunning. That really kind of completes the downtown spaces here, this whole section, if you like, on screen. Yeah, what a wonderful treat of a build that is to explore through the middle there. I will head back to these central station fusions we saw a moment ago, where I'm really keen to pick up with these train lines that kick back up the hill. Train, please. What do you think? I think that looks amazing. We've even split off into one-way tracks here as well. We really never see those assets in the city showcase. I'll leave some good train porn up here for the train, please. I'm sure you'll all appreciate it. As we arrive, everyone, into a campus, which I'm always immediately sold on. Parking lot roads by the aquatic centre. Track and field, fountains. Custom tennis buildings here as well. Pretty sure we had this in Ilos, didn't we? That seems very familiar, that one. There's a train station in the campus with a little mini BRT express system as well. Moving people around and out down that road, it looks like, where those buses are going. So just really, really nice. Can't fawn over the design or the detailing. Got big, important, unique buildings right on the cliffside here, perched over a pretty spectacular view. Campus main building with all the other uniques. Ooh, what do we have here? That is 2 study halls glued to a bookstore, is it? No, it's not. I actually don't know what that is. What are we looking at there? It's a bookstore, laboratory, and 2 libraries. That's so cool. What a really nice campus fusion that is. I really like that. Thoroughly enjoyable. There's pathways with lots of ghosts walking on it. With more train integration. I know the wider, well, all the transit is pretty amazing in the city, but this is probably some of the best train planning we've had, if not the best, I think. I know I'm often quick to claim something as the best, because I'm just so blown away by your guys' designs, but the train infrastructure in this city in particular is pretty incredible. Look at the terrain mastering here. Enormous retaining wall. And custom asset flats mixed with green cities and wall-to-wall. Yoga gardens, restaurants. On mad terrain. I mean, that's not easy to do. Brilliant planning. The campus is spectacular. As we come back to the downtown here, we'll see this hillside beneath the campus. And we'll find more detailed commercial. Tram turnaround spots with campus fountains in there too. Really like that aesthetic. And we'll see this elevated cycling pathway we saw earlier running just above the train line out of the European downtown. Which is just so nice, isn't it? Again, another really peculiar use of financial districts. We're seeing this in quite a few instances across the city, aren't we? Again here. There it is again. Yeah, really nice. Simple, executed green city, Park Life Park, sorry. And before this brings us up onto this hillside, where the cycling skywalk comes in to more hillside suburbia, which is served by yet more immaculate convergence of tram and ferry, using network multi-tool to replace the assets. Giving us a really impressive visual. Custom graveyards, excellent. Love it. I love these assets, the custom working graveyards. Such a good death care building that. Coming out of these big green cities flats here, we'll see a very dramatic train bridge crossing over all these layers down here, which has all been intersection marked up. Look at that. Just a little mid-city showcase round of applause, everyone, for this. Love the IMT work here. Are IMT police going to be happy? IMT police are some of the most brutal, almost Gestapo level of authority. If your lines don't go to the right lane, it's war. There's no other word for it. Leave it up to the IMT police to decide that one. I love this custom train station. What is this? I'm sure a lot of us will be interested in that. Guildford Hill. I'm guessing that's what you've named it. It's probably not called that, is it? Glass Narrow Station 6 tracks by Vilgard 92. It's very nice. Are we in Guildford here, are we? Okay. So a lot of the names here are definitely UK inspired. Livingston, Treadworth Hill, Livingston Green, Cubbington North, Whitecross, Kent Park. Yeah, it's very UK names. Derwent, 100%. Faulty Plaza. Is that a reference to Faulty Towers? I hope it is. Fantastic. He's under the table. Regardless, fantastic modern train station with modern monorail, which takes us up onto a separate development on a very short line. Essentially functioning as a cable car there, really, isn't it? And with a double festival area and festival prep site. With the Statue of Wealth. Does this have a name? Guildford Hill Festival site. Statue of Wealth. Little camping area here. That reminds me a little bit of Few Candies Orrodon build this, actually, with the festival site in the kind of like boreal tree setting, doesn't it? Especially with the people coming through the gate here. Really sweet area. An appropriate festival broadcasting facility nearby as well. With radio masts. A fun way to develop a festival site like that, and the first time I've ever seen anyone essentially use monorail as a cable car. But I'm not against it. And you're getting some nice walking porn through here as well. Great stuff. This really brings us kind of out of the metropolis now at this point, as we very much enter the countryside over here. So we'll keep crawling along these coasts, and then we'll grab this internal stuff before we head out over here. Again, a comment for these waving snake lines coming into the new town, which again we see little instances of embellished BRT crossing over the tracks. Is this something as well with the disaster response? I'm quite interested to see the names now. Guildford Lake Fairgrounds, I suppose, is what it is. Another modular station with power transformer over here. Alongside a very overgrown cemetery. I imagine that might be some tree anarchy settings, probably not playing very well. And then we'll see an amusement park here, which is really surrounded by suburbia. In all different styles. Churches. School campus. It's fun to see a suburb surround, well, kind of as an amusement park, as it's almost city centre. I've never thought of doing that before. It almost reminds me kind of like a park resort, kind of how like you maybe have like self-catering accommodation on the edge of a Disney World. Almost. I'm sure that's not the intention. But it does remind me of that. More European fusing. And elaborate designs behind the build. As we enjoy Guildford Lake. Also seen our first little bit of traffic here as well. Is it just AI dancing? No, they're actually moving pretty quickly. Oh, you're getting stuck here, are you? Yes. Just hearses stopping everyone. I mean, that's fine. At least it moves on the roundabout. It's just a busy arterial into town here, isn't it? Clearly people are coming into downtown. At the top side of this suburb, we'll see elder care and death care. with a very interesting mountaintop build here. What is this? Alnerwick helicopter depot, of course. What else would it be? Like with all 3 helicopter depots here. Transformers. Some custom industrial up here. With a little custom fence network too. Service detailing, police cars, fire stations. And radio masts. Bringing us into a big industrial part. See another cluster of services around a train station here. You're very good at elaborating your train stations out with hotels, unique buildings, other transit convergence. Really tasteful use of a green cities asset there as well next to a bus station. Which is also, coincidentally, another really nice asset. What are you? Just bus station. Okay. Just straight to the point. What's that? Very nice. Industry over here with the steel plant. As our national networks really crisscross again here in train and road passing over each other in so many different ways. Look at that. Just enjoy the flow around these networks, right? So let's just kind of get a bit of a study. We've got some bus-only IMT. Which brings us into a roundabout taking us in a few different directions. We'll follow the coast first with this train line into another small town out here. Various combinations of graveyard, death care, European suburbia. These are the big roads, aren't they? That kind of like big American road pack. They're very nice. It's a little bit wider than the vanilla ones are, which I think I appreciate. We're also seeing a Lidl as well. Shout out to Lidl, everyone. UK's cheapest supermarket, I believe. Well, I think Lidl is German, isn't it? I'm not claiming it to be a UK business. But I enjoy Lidl. I always enjoy seeing a real brand. And that finishes that rural town. We'll grab, I think, what is very clearly a massive petroleum refinery here, blended with tons of sewage and water service. And lots of oil drilling rigs. Financial districts again. You really like your random installations of financial districts, don't you? Funny to see. I've seen some trains coming here, a little bit of train traffic, but it's fine, doesn't really bother me. And then loads of oil processing, garbage also in here as well. To create a really fun refinery district, you've also used the surface painted textures here as well to kind of like almost burn out or pollute the ground around such dirty industrial work. So I appreciate the serve the, I guess, resource painter is really what it is, isn't it? We'll see a wind farm up here with some accompanying zoned industry, always a faithful combination, isn't it? With lots of little rural utility power poles present here. As we come over the hills and far away, we'll see a big mining pit which has been very dramatically installed here. Teeth excavators in the bottom of the pit, lots of rock walls, separate processing sites, combinations of grinding mills, fiberglass, storage barracks. I love the rock border against the sawmill. Garbage processing, back-to-back rotary kiln with another train yard out here. I'm definitely going to get these vanilla train props for Ilium. Let's just have a little look at which ones these are. Where are we here? Yeah, vanilla cargo train or empty. I definitely want these. Very tidy. Fun little assets then. A little storage area wrapped up here. And just a really nice mining area. I love all the little separate processing sites kind of in orbit of the center pit. More of them over here as we come down to a little port here, which I really like. Another shipyard, fish factory. The Vanya's container assets. Bring us to the ferry terminal with some more really fun IMT roads. Look at this. Oh, look at this. This is actually one way, so how do you get out here? You have to come back out this way. Ferry depot. Very red bus roads with holy crap. Did you guys see that? That was a lot of people. 1,013. Well, these ferries are holding 500. Where are you going? Where are you going? There. But also over here. 643 on that one. Another 262 people here, 256 on that one. Very busy ferry networks. You'd love to see that. Now back over here. What's the European, a very futuristic, almost space age train station here. Which again is incredibly busy. Bringing us into a fishing harbour. With the harbours and the market itself. European bridges. We're very much moving into a new, sort of quite built out area here. We'll catch this island before we carry on down the mainland. Which has to be something. Possibly a castle attraction pack. Right, does this have a name, I wonder? Have a little check. Tobermory Island. Which is made up of seaside resorts. Mixed with the little old style UK buildings here. That's like a bit of a throwback in time kind of resort. Bridge up to a classic faithful castle fusion of the hotel and the Lord Churchwick. With the bee garden and the lungs of the city. It's quite a really unique, interesting island. I guess definitely kind of like old world tourist vibes is the idea here, is what I'm picking up. Especially with the two modern hotels around all the old stuff. That's definitely how I kind of interpret that, I think. Coming into our new district, where we have the oil refinery here for a bit of context. We'll definitely see another city centre crawling out of the Red Road fishing harbour. Coming up some skyscrapers, modern city centre, financial districts, libraries. There's custom assets in here as well. There's some very custom European assets down here too. There's a lot of trees here, the frames are tanking a little. Lots of high-res Douglas firs. Stadiums. Little pub tucked in there as well. Definitely feels more British out here, doesn't it? With the pub and the football and the red brick. And lots of different networks snaking back uphill through suburbia. Into another just so inspiring transit plaza. Got trains and buses meeting here. Elevated skywalks bringing them back over. Nicely marked up roads all through this section here. Really nice kind of couplet crossing system this with the one-ways. Perfect traffic flow on it too. This whips around with more outer-lying suburbia littered with skate parks, pitches, fences and whatnot. You can also see another service point integration here as well. We got some fusing going on here. I think we do, don't we? Perhaps mixed use and towers blended together. But we'll pick up on that couplet again. That brings us back across the other side of all this elaborate industrial stuff, where we'll see more factory stuff. Or is this shopping? I think it's shopping, isn't it? It is, yeah. Big mall complex. We're seeing those really fun UK retail assets too. Halfords, Maplins. Is Maplins even still around anymore? I don't think I've seen a Maplins for ages. A Morrison's, Waitrose, of course. Next, Matalan, DFF. With some service delivery detailing behind them too. And they're partnered with King Lenovo stuff. For a really nice little commercial district. Come over here too, we got a home base, a mother car, range, an Odeon. Very tidy, really like that. And here, service points with Industrial Evolution. Some more train yard stuff as well. So the city just continues to get more elaborate even out of the downtown, doesn't it? If we want to take that spy sample of what we've seen just there. Wild. We'll cross the water and grab these outer line districts before we carry on back into the mainland where we saw those ferries just a moment ago. So certainly coming into more of a built-up area here from this ferry station we saw earlier, which has another really fun and different configuration of tram convergence out the front of it here. Before we see quite a few custom European assets. Some really interesting apartments here, aren't they? Fun. Modern city centre. More line filler IMT. Glass roof plaza, I always love to see. Lots of fun little recreational spaces around the bottom of this. Service point integration right into the town here. Aquatic centre, we're also stumbling across another campus if my eyes don't mistake me. Yes, we are. We'll enjoy this from the centralisation at the main building. Again, of course, where the tram stops to deliver passengers. A few people getting off here for class. More really interesting campus views-ins, so the theme's a little overexposed over here. I've got a bookstore, study hall, the gymnasium with a study hall as well. Just, your campus is really nice. I love the elements of campus fusing you've gone to. With the School of Education front and centre as well. Over here we'll see medical labs with the actual laboratories from the campus with more fusing. Parking lot roads. And fused dorms, which actually look like they've had recolor or repaint used on them. Yeah, they definitely have. Which is interesting. We don't see a lot of repaint work in City Showcase. And I love this whole little waterfront section across here. It's really nice, that, isn't it? Little fountain combinations. Again, some stuff I imagine around here would have been bobbed. So, ignore colliding bushes, etc. with tiles. Another ferry stop down here with commercial and tram turnaround. The tram and ferry convergence is insane. And train convergence too. More excellent network design here with this IMT as the highway merges back onto the 4-lane arterial road. Suburb blends into industry. As does the tram also pass through here as well. Mainly industrial evolution. Financial districts again, always. And more configuration using Lenovo's mall zoning. Mall of moderation, green space, tram turnaround. This episode is sponsored by tram turnaround, isn't it? I feel like I've said it 1,000 times this episode. And then some emerging downtowns, like kind of condo blocks. Break off another town here. Seeing what we have atop the hill. Looks like a simple little disaster memorial. With really nice viewpoints, I'm sure, across. I guess we've actually lost sight of the downtown now, haven't we? You can just about see it here. But that gives you a real sense of scale of the build, doesn't it? Like we've crawled all the way away from downtown now. Whereas the city is vast. Cable car just comes downhill here before a national road network switches back up and down before following back to mainland, which is where we'll go in a second. Before we check out what is very clearly a little farming town here. More European S blocks. Detailing all behind them. European suburbia. Got a bit of seaside resorts right on the waterfront here too. Some nice bus and ferry action there. Before we come into our farm fields, which are made up of functional assets for the most part. Fruit fields in here. Workers' barracks, flour mills, horse stables with its own little horse retaining wall, if you like. Never seen that before. And then livestock city. Cattle sheds, cattle fields. That's a really nice configuration of the cattle shed asset, actually. Slaughterhouses, fields and the food factories, lemonade and food itself. Set over here on the waterfront. It looks like we're also missing another barge asset here. Unfortunately, forever removed by the author from the Steam Workshop. We'll never get to see what it looks like. And there's also a really small forestry operation out here as well. Might be one of the most tasteful forestry areas I've ever seen. Just a pulp mill, a couple of extraction and storage. Really simple, that. Up here we'll see biodomes. A little bit of Green Cities housing. Before a final little plaza sees us off the map edge over there. We'll pick back up on the mainland as we explore definitely the last kind of quadrant of the map over here now. Picking up with 2 national highway roads, which will go this way first. I love these. Just little rural country isolated houses on a dirt track off the main road. Again, super simple that, isn't it? But really effective just for the visual of rural town. This road brings us up to a national park, which is full of lots of overgrowth, tents, trees, and good times, I'm sure, giving us a grand viewpoint over our next major town, which we'll arrive into via the road, which comes actually via this way. I guess we'll head down this one first. Again, just look at all these networks climbing up and piercing through the valley. Isn't that such an impressive visual? Such design. More roundabouts before we see hillside suburbia. Pathways linking roads back and two. Taking us up to the main forestry plantation of the build. Pulp mills, barracks. Really fun combinations of tree plantation here. Really like that. Can I imagine the vanilla trees here probably would have been bobbed for these conifers? Unless it's intended to maybe be younger trees, perhaps. I'm not sure. I would hate to assume. Make an arse out of you and me. Some hotels fusing here. Mountain Lodge. With Mountain Village assets around it too. Giving us a nice little fun mountaintop installation. Which really bleeds off back into the festival site here as a mountaintop nature reserve very much sits atop this hill. Combinations of tents and campsites and gazebos and whatnot. A somewhat limited view from there. But just about you can peek the skyline, I think, from certain views. Maybe this one down here is more set up for it. Yeah. It's amazingly satisfying, isn't it, when you finish a build? And you can just take the time to sit around and look over like your fully functioning city. Stunning. Nice little hilltop nature reserve here. Heading us back down the hill toward the town, we'll see retaining wall and train station. Paths back up. I really love that asset. Reminds me of something that actually, maybe something from RuneScape for some reason. This icon right here. Looks like the RuneScape prayer icon, I think. Maybe that's what I'm thinking about. Could be. I'm not sure. If anyone else still plays RuneScape, let me know. Obsessed. Please send help. Over here, the paper factory sits with the toy and the wood vision. Great little parking lot road designs again. Ponds and warehouses. Financial districts, of course. With a really fun interchange configuration. Look at that. Great flow there, isn't there? Really interesting. This then comes down here into another rural town made up of mostly European suburbia. Seems to be your go-to, doesn't it, for residential? Which I don't blame you, it's mine as well. See childcare, playgrounds, a park life park running right through the middle of the town. Mountains, stations. And this train line really kicks up and out to terminate at the end of line here at a cable car installation, which is taking us zigzagging quite a long way up into the hills, where we'll see, I guess we'll check this build out while we're here, at the end of cable car with more configuration, Lots of European suburbia through this bit of the town. More of these custom buildings. Service point. Love that. Isn't that nice? That staircase coming down through like the overgrown cliff face. I really enjoy that. Quite a big fan. Cable car also over here. Before we enjoy a really nice lake which is dammed on one side. That's certainly a custom dam asset. But I like it. Or have you anarchy the road over the top, I wonder? Not sure there. There's also the sparkly unicorn park here as well for the second city showcase in a row, having not seen it before. Funny how that works, isn't it? Cool, we'll go down the other side of the dam once we've grabbed what is very obviously a golf course here. I'm using these golf assets, which I used in ILOS. Super hard to use, because they're so like far off the ground. But you've partnered this with the golf house asset itself. Lots of seaside resorts, mountain village over here as well. A bit of a boating lake, it would seem. Although probably don't go downstream. Would probably hate to imagine how one of these boats might handle those rapids heading down into the next town down the stream there. So I always love to see a golf course. They're such unique, fun builds to have in the city. A splendid setting for it as well. While we're up in the mountains, we'll go catch that observatory we saw right in the opening cinematic. Where the cable car continues to come uphill. Arriving at a burned down something. What was this at one point? Space radar. I'll rebuild it for you. Yeah, so obvious observatory. We've got the weather stations, climate research stations here. Radar and telescopes. Giving us a pretty fat view over the city here, right? But nice. I always love to see the, I guess, more space age assets respected. For again, which we can see over here as well. And which we'll grab this last as we loop up around this hillside, I think. So turning back to these networks over here. We'll flow into the new town. And look at that. Isn't that so nice? These networks passing through the terrain is really, really great. The bonus points for it all being intersection marked as well. Through here we'll see more of Grey Koala's faithful rural town aesthetic of the big roads, European suburbia. So gracefully heading down the terrain. As this train line really dominates the landscape here, doesn't it? Really separating the suburb from the town centre. Before it comes down again into another station. In the city centre, we'll see fusings of modern city centre and skyscrapers. That's a really nice combination here. We're going to get double hotels, green cities apartments, glass roof plazas, more amazing bus, tram and train convergence again. Another really beautiful kind of governmental custom asset here. This is Littlebourne Town Centre. What are you? You are a European high school. Nice asset, that one. Almost looks like a bit of a reskinned European unique, doesn't it? It's a very similar shape. This is definitely custom though. Berries. Not as busy as their friends further down the water. But a fun school campus regardless. Even with some more campus assets present in the town centre here. They make such good buildings, don't they? Like, this doesn't scream university education on its own. So like the liberal arts laboratories, just, they're such good shouts for buildings away from campuses. Environmental studies pathway coming under here too. Loads of detailing. Hedges, love the hedge networks here. As the campus very much sprawls along this waterfront, the School of Economics is also in. More dorms, plazas, and European fusing in shapes. Up here we'll see European suburbia and parks. As the networks head alongside the edge of town here. Into a stadium with parking. Little Green Cities farmers markets is always such a vibe, isn't it? Schools. Emerging downtowns. Just simple outer lying suburbia design blended with pretty much all the DLC. Park life. We can just flow into a zoo. Down the waterfront. And we'll see another forestry area as well, which I'm always happy to see. Back-to-back pulp mills and extraction. Again, it's not overly done. Just a nice little hillside forestry district here. These networks, again, just switch up and over one another, don't they? Just insane. There's so much planning gone into that. Here we'll see more factories, industrial train lines, financial districts. And oh no, this is actually Avandia's processing stuff, isn't it? So this is garbage collection. Assets we've used on the channel quite a few times before. But they're essentially just recycling centres. Bit of a industrial evolution next door to them as well. Across the roundabout featuring a statue of Jerry Senior, whose jurisdiction obviously extended out here as well. And to another little rural hillside town. More of the same story from Grey Koala. You're looking, I think, for as good as the downtown is in this build, I think a lot of the rural inspiration has been a surprise of the build today. With a really nice custom train track. I've never seen that one before. And this heads us all the way down the coast to the towns we were at a moment ago. Giving us some like serious sense of scale here, right? Having to drive around the bay to kind of get back to civilization, if you like. I like that you haven't put a bridge here or a tunnel. Like they have to drive the length of the bay if they want to get there in the car. Quite fun. Heading back into the steep mountains down the arterials. See another train station with some shopping mall stuff. Helicopter park. And an Aldi, which is great. Love to see an Aldi in here. I'm definitely an Aldi over Lidl guy myself. Here the train passes over what is very clearly some sort of marshland, which is a really fun way to use this. Especially once those overgrowth assets have actually loaded in. You get a much greater sense of it here. Really great parking designs, gas stations, motels. A little bit of European suburbia. An outside connection here is drawing an awful lot of traffic. So it is moving at least. It's just very busy. Garbage recycling for this bit of the city. Or our train line heads up and toward the dam, which we can see in the far distance there. Giving us more excuses. It means like simple tree and fence outside of a train station. Just works, doesn't it? I think a lot of the time, even I'm guilty of it as well. We try and overthink designs, but simple is often the best way, isn't it? As with so many things in life. Again, a more modern appreciation for the networks snaking parallel together further and further into the valley. We'll come across our final town. Made up of shopping malls. Really nice little end-of-line terminus station here. Hotel. And more European suburbia. With pictures and elevated train lines. Or edge of town industrial service site here with some vanilla detailing. Classic industrial brick evolution. Before we'll see a big prison at the foot of the dam, so if the dam bursts, it'll be the prisoners that are first to perish. But you've used, I think, Peanut's prison pack here, haven't we, which is what we use in Ilos to build the prison out there. I really like this. This is super nice. I love the fence assets that come with this pack, these ones. Something quite impactful about a double security fence layer, isn't there? Also a vibe that works well for a border crossing build. You can repurpose a lot of these assets into that. Hence Ilos's border crossing. Fantastic. That brings us up to the dam, leaving us with just one build left to see, which comes from these networks here, where we can take a turn up into the hills to see what looks like a nuclear plant, but there's also space stuff here as well. So nuclear power and space center, yeah, two separate builds, they're just next to each other. As we come up here, we'll see financial districts again, modern architecture stuff. Oh no, the high-tech building, sorry. Modern architecture's TS2, isn't it? I love the use of the water pumps here, as though it's outflow for the nuclear power station. Again, is this a big modular system here? Yeah, these are Ronix's modular nuclear stuff, isn't it? Yeah. Really popular nuclear pack, that. But I love the use of monorail service in the area here. That's really, really sweet designs. Can we see inside the cooling towers? Yeah, we can. And then here, we have our space center, which is made up of both launch sites and some oil storage and a warehouse. Again, not overly done, but just tasteful. And very much like a lot of this city, which has been one of the finest city showcases I think we've seen, especially like the network planning through the downtown. I'll probably use this as a thumbnail today. Or just something to show off the train infrastructure, which is really an aspect of the build I've thoroughly enjoyed today. Thank you so much for sending this in, Grey Koala. Really outstanding build. Possibly, I'd say, one of the top 5 showcases we've had. And the detail and the planning here is of the utmost quality. Really fantastic build. Let me know what you thought of it down below. And indeed, if you do know the map. If you want your work to feature in the next episode, link to the Google form in the video description. Otherwise, a massive shout out to the YouTube members and patrons that help support these videos. Links to those and Instant Gaming down below if you'd like to help support the channel. But otherwise, enjoy the cinematics and I'll see you in the next one. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.